Hello YouTube, Ronin Kaze. Trying to get everything going. Yeah, there it's going. Figured out the music thing. Didn't actually figure it out, but I'm going to say that. Hey, today another game running on Steam, running on Linux. Fallout76. And I guess my notes are on Fallout 76 or on the actual video. So let me move that over here. Wasn't very prepared, YouTube, for what's going to happen. A couple of things that I've done to make my process easier. I got a USB-C thumb drive, and the speeds on that are fantastic. So no matter what device I'm recording on, I export it to the USB-C thumb drive, and then I load it into my iPad, which has a USB-C. So this is Fallout 76, and it's kind of the MMO of the Fallout series. And Fallout is a series that's based on a game called Wasteland. And that was a game back in the day. And I'm going to have like a little, I think, screenshot of it. But it was one of the games I played a long time ago. And it's a game about, you know, a post-nuclear event and surviving. And of course, there's a lot of things about post-apocalyptic things, but this is more based on a nuclear kind of situation, so you have themes that are related to that. And so Wasteland was good. You had a party, and it was one of those games where, you know, you'd have a party and then you'd have like up to 6 people in the party, and you could outfit them with different things, and they would shoot and take actions and do those kind of things. So if you like Fallout 3, so let's fast forward. There's Wasteland on the screen. We've just been talking about it. Wasteland was a good game, and that's kind of the, they say it's the spiritual forerunner to Fallout. The first Fallout game came after that, and that was a good game. It's kind of the same mechanics. It's an isometric game where you move turn-based, which is a pretty good game. But really, for me, the Fallout franchise really took off in Fallout 3, and that was a 3D person game. And it's similar to what you're seeing now. So it had some RPG parts to it. It had a bunch of, it can be modded. It came out to, there was like a Fallout New Vegas is like Fallout 3.5, and then there's Fallout 4 of these type of games. But I was excited when Fallout 76 was going to come out because I really had liked WoW and other MMO RPGs. So I was like, man, this is going to be great. It's like the marriage of two things. Well, what Fallout 76, you're on kind of like, you can be on different servers. You can host your own server. You can be on a server where they put you where there's some other people on the server. And so it was a little bit different. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was still pretty good. And what I thought about it, you know, I played it quite a bit. I think I'm talking about what I missed was back there was, you know, why are all these games? They're based about the 50s. We were scared about nuclear war. My sister was a kid during then, and they would hide under the desk and those kind of things. And that little screenshot you saw was Bikini Atoll explosion, because all the countries, not all the nuclear powers were testing their nuclear weapons a lot. So this was really in the forefront. And I think I remember that as a kid, seeing a newscast about that. And in the 80s, the day after was a TV series, I think it was a British TV series to begin with, about the day after a nuclear bomb hit. So it's kind of in this folklore of, you know, we're living in this nuclear era where it's mutually assured destruction, mad, was the philosophy behind it, the deterrent. And this is a cult. This is like the first religious cult that I could find that was kind of based on this, a nuclear doomsday cult. Of course, it didn't come to pass. And you've had an upspring of a bunch of these different movies and genres and the zombie apocalypse and those kind of things. But What's good about this game is you're going to run into nuclear-based problems. So I'm here doing a quest about robots that are on the fritz, and I got to go in and change their programming, but I'm shooting them. And it's kind of good. You can see that I'm looking down iron sights. It's not a tab-based game. It's actually got to aim and hit something. Sorry, I'm rocking when I'm talking. You have to aim and shoot it, and you can see I'm not the good shot. I'm here, I'm trying to heal myself back up. And sometimes when you eat some items or you do some items, you can get radiation poisoning because the environment has radiation poisoning. So there's some pills you can take that remove the radiation poisoning. So one of the mechanics is kind of like a survival mechanic. It's not heavy on the survival mechanic. It's more gameplay, right? So you can go and do a lot more than just worry about surviving, whether I got to eat and drink and that kind of stuff or stay warm. There's no real building. In Fallout 4, I think you could build a base and you could have followers and that kind of thing. But what I liked about, all these games is that you can work with someone and you can do open events. So, for example, on a higher level character I have, and these are those guys they've been ravaged by the radiation ghouls. On my other character, there's an airport, and I go always that, and sometimes there's people running around out there, and we'll kind of work together. And so that's kind of what I like. I'm not a big... there was a time when I did, in WoW, we did runs, and we would, it was the Frost Throne, and that, we got stuck on Cindergrosa. I think it's a Cindergosa. I don't know what her name was, but it was a dragon, and we could never get past it, and then our guild just blew up after that. And it was one of those things where I got into that guild because I was a shaman, and they wanted me to be a damage dealing shaman. And at that time in WoW, for a shaman, you had to be still to cast. So it was tough as crap to, get a lot of DPS. And of course, in all those games, they're looking at the count, your damage count after the game and everything. So it's really tough. So no problems on this. I had to remount my Linux drive. So now once I've done, I just do it all the time. It's really easy to do it. Super Slanky Lanky, I think. Sorry, the old user that's watching. I'm going to do a video of, what my setup is. I have a Asus G14 Zephyrus. I think it was the first one. It was a Best Buy model. So it has a 1650 NVIDIA. It's not a great processor, but it runs all these games great. And I'm running OBS in the background, and you get to kind of see that at the end of this. But the Kachios, I also was doing this in Ubuntu. And what I didn't like about Ubuntu is when I loaded Steam. Okay, why don't you like Ubuntu, YouTube? For the average person, it's great. But I'll give you an example why Ubuntu might be less than. So it has a package system. It has the regular Linux package system. And then there's a thing called Flatpak, and the other one what they use. And no one likes what they use. And when I ran Steam, it loaded Steam in that package, which made it harder for it to run external drives because I had to do permissions. And it was easy because Ubuntu, a lot of people use it. So I just searched for it, found the command, copied it, pasted it in a terminal, and worked. But that was kind of less than. So I ended up deinstalling that package and then installing it through the normal installer with Steam. And then I was using GNOME, and then I went to KDE because I have a Mac, and the close, maximize, minimize buttons are on the left side of the window on a Mac. So I did that. So all my Linux stuff, I go to KDE where I can do that. So I was pretty happy with that. And so the Linux stuff runs, and I got it to run, trying to do these in a rotating fashion. I haven't been able to run Division 2 on my Mac. And it has a crossover is the name of the program, and it runs like a kind of, I want to say it's a special version of Wine, and they put updates and everything. And it just won't run. It gets stuck. I loaded it on Linux Steam, and I downloaded the Steam version of Division 2, and I started it, and then it just automatically put up the Ubisoft, and it automatically signed me in, so it was great. So it's pretty, of the three systems, the Linux system is kind of superior because of the following. Number one, it doesn't have all the bloatware. Number two, it doesn't spy on you. Number three, you can game on it now. You might not be able to game the latest games, but for games I want to play, it loads them easy and runs them all. So I'll do something. Super Slanky wanted me to do kind of a video. I'm going to do a video and kind of show you what I got. It's hard to kind of show the Linux part before when you're actually putting Linux on something. I have a couple computers I can throw Linux on there, so I'll do that. But I got to use a camera to do it, I guess, to see the screen. So I don't know how that's going to be. But I'm running OBS with that on the Linux system. Records it better. OBS is nicer because the size. So I've been using the Xbox Game Record on the Windows system, and Mac has an inherent screen capture thing. Both those have enormous files when it makes the files. And the OBS file is like a quarter the size of that. So I prefer to use OBS, even though it's running, has other features. It just gives you more flexibility. So it's really worth your while to learn OBS. And I'd say Linux is great. And again, that PC has like, it's either a 4800 or a AMD 7 Ryzen 4800, or it's a 50 something. I'll double check and get that to you. But that's like a 2020 computer. It's like a 5-year-old, 4-year-old computer, and it runs the games I want to play fine. And it's going to have a little less, the fan was on when it was doing it. The idea with the Mac is that it, it's so power efficient that you'd like to use that. But whatever, if you can't run the game I want to play, then whatever. But I will say this. I had an iPad Pro, and when I had the channel previously, I had an older version of iPad Pro, and that's how it was like an M1, and it went through making these videos like it was nothing. I used LumaFusion, which was like when I bought it was either $9 or $19, and that's what I'm doing all these things on, LumaFusion, and it's fantastic. So when you think about it, it's not Adobe or something else. It's really easy to use. I use it on an iPad as long as you had an M1. The M1 was just rendered things fast. M4, same thing. It's great. So I'd say in those respects, a Linux computer with an iPad is pretty great. You miss some of the integration with Apple, but then you got the stuff with Apple, as long as Windows. You can't poo-poo Windows and then say how great Mac is, because Mac's kind of based on the same thing. Yes, it has better privacy. Don't want to start a war. I have all three, so it's not like I have one preference over the other. I'm watching the Mac. The monitor is hooked to the Mac. I'm running a YouTube video, so the screen doesn't shut off, so I get that white light extra on my face. So that's my lighting, and I'm using an old iPhone to capture this part, the audio and the picture of me. So that's kind of the setup. This is Fallout 76, little brief history. How does it relate to everything? Obviously, nuclear war that's really not even a binary thing. That's a, mono. If we have that, then all bets are off. So let's hope that never happens. And I hope everyone's doing good. I am probably today going to set up all that stuff. It's a little bit harder, the coffee. I got to set up another thing too, blah, blah, blah. So they take 10% of the money, which is okay. I have none of the money yet. And I appreciate if you want to buy me a cup of coffee when that time comes. I'd appreciate it. And I'll promise you guys to put this all back in the channel. Thanks. Have a great day. Ronin Kaze out.